Welcome back to Moving to DMV. And in today's video, I want to talk about something that is very, very important, and that is an appraisal gap and what that means for you as a home buyer, whether you have bought a home 100 times and this is your 101st first time, or if you are buying it for the first time. An appraisal gap is something very important to understand, and I do want to get you through this journey. So if you clicked on this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you can stay up to date with the type of content that I provide. I really appreciate it. It does help me do big numbers. Hopefully you can help me do big numbers. All right, so let's get into it. Breaking down an appraisal gap. What this exactly means is that, let me paint you a picture. Everybody likes when I like to paint like Bob Ross, so follow along with me. Say you found your dream home, right? And you've made an offer on that property and it's accepted, but there's just one little string attached that might put a little bump in the road, a little hiccup, something that might make it less than optimal for you to go through the transaction, and that is the appraisal. Now, what happens is when you have an appraisal gap, it means that the lender or the bank thinks that your house is worth a different amount or less than what you have agreed to pay for the property. And that's all it is. In simple terms, it is the lender thinks the home is worth less and you might have offered a lot more. Now, let's get into it on why does the appraisal gap occur. One main reason is because the real estate market might be really, really hot. And in today's market, we have seen that it is super competitive. It is really hard to get into a situation where you can just kind of offer at listing and your offer be accepted. It's difficult. But let's do some numbers, right? I'm going to give you an arbitrary number. Let's say that you see a house and you offer $500,000 for the house. That is the sales price in your contract. Now, what you do then is you go to your lender. Your lender has an appraiser go out to the property and they evaluate the property. They come back with an appraisal report where in the report, they have essentially looked at other properties, comparable properties in that neighborhood or in the surrounding area to determine what is this property worth to the bank. So if you offered $500,000, the appraisal comes back at, let's say, $480,000. What that simply means is that there is a $20,000 gap between what you've offered and what the bank thinks the house is worth. And oftentimes what you have to do, and this is as simple as it gets, you have to be able to bridge that gap. Now, there are four distinct strategies that you can use or four ways to handle this situation. The first one is pretty simple. You just have a conversation with the seller and you tell them, hey, look, the appraisal came back. It looks like the property value is a little bit low. Would you be willing to come down on the price? You just have a conversation with them. But your question is going to be, how does that conversation typically go? And in today's market, it is a little bit more difficult to be able to get anything out of a seller because they seem, they understand what the market is like. They understand that it's super competitive and they probably have multiple offers on the property. So being able to have them come down on the price is usually not something that is very easy to do. Does it happen? Yes, but it might be a little bit difficult. It might be something that your real estate agent or you might not even want to have to deal with. So the second thing that you can do is bring in more funds. And this is usually what any real estate agent that is good will tell you is, hey, if you're considering waiving the appraisal or if you're going to have an appraisal gap, make sure you have extra cash or extra funds that you can contribute to make up for the gap. Right now, number three is consider getting a second appraisal. Now, what that means is sometimes you have the lender go out and their appraiser might have missed something, a significant update or something that was done to the property that sets it apart from all the other comparables that they're using. So you can oftentimes request a second appraisal. This may or may not come out of your pocket. Sometimes the lenders may be willing to kind of meet you halfway or just cover the cost entirely, but it is something that you are well within your rights to request. Number four is, and this is what anybody will tell you when you're going to purchase something, whether it's a car or a home, if the gap is substantial enough, say that, you offered $500,000 and the gap came back to, and the lender said that the appraisal was $400,000, that is a $100,000 gap, and it may not align with your budget. So simply put, when you're buying something this significant, it may be important for you to be able to walk away from the deal entirely. And that's something that you should be able to do, or you should be willing to do. If it just does not work for you, there's no reason for you to have to spend more money than you are able to in order to get into the house of your dreams. Now, those are the four strategies that you can use. And to avoid appraisal gaps, just, it's really simple, and a good realtor will be able to guide you into that direction. You just have to make a sensible offer that is based on local markets and comparable sales. You also want to be able to ask that realtor enough questions so that you don't feel like you're going into it without someone that, if you feel like you need your hand a little bit held, it is okay for you to ask that realtor, hey, can you tell me what it means when I have an appraisal gap? Can you tell me what I need to prepare for if there is an appraisal gap? Right? So make informed decisions, because you would not have clicked on this video and watched this far if you didn't think that I wouldn't be able to give you some sort of information. All right. And there you have it, folks. That is what it means to have an appraisal gap. They might seem tricky, but with the right knowledge and the guidance that you've gotten, I hope that you make a great decision for yourself. If you found this video helpful, hopefully it wasn't too long and I didn't, spin too much of a yarn for you, but give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that little bell icon, if you want to continue getting updates from me. Thank you so much, and stick around for the next one.